Hello everyone, I'm Patricia So, one of the researchers with the Sustainable Nutrition Initiative. Current food marketing trends are heavily focused on protein. Protein is marketed to increase the health benefits of food. However, in the developed world, such as in places like New Zealand, getting enough protein is often not a problem for most people who eat a variety of plant and animal products. We wondered if this is true for vegans who often exclude all forms of dairy, eggs, and animal-derived foods, such as honey. We wanted to understand if it is possible for vegans living in New Zealand to follow a dietary pattern that provides enough high-quality protein to meet their daily requirements. We specifically wanted to consider protein quality, which refers to the amount of essential amino acids that can be provided by food sources to meet human requirements. These amino acids cannot be made within the body and must be provided from food. It is known that some of these amino acids are consumed in lower quantities in vegan diets. We wanted to answer three main questions. Which amino acids are not consumed enough in the New Zealand vegan diet? How does the pattern of amino acid intake look like over the course of a day in a New Zealand vegan diet? And lastly, can we find dietary patterns that fix the problem of imbalanced amino acid consumption in New Zealand vegan diets? We investigated these questions using food recall data from a study of New Zealand vegans of nearly 200 people who provided over 700 days of dietary data. To answer our first question, we found that nearly 50% of the New Zealand vegans were not meeting their daily lysine and leucine intake. These are two essential amino acids which are important for many processes in the body, including muscle maintenance. There is no clear consensus yet about how much of each amino acid should be consumed as part of a vegan meal. However, it is crucial that we understand this because the body needs all the amino acids at the same time. As these nutrients cannot be stored within the body over long durations, meals provide the best opportunity to ensure all amino acids can be consumed together. If some are missing, the others cannot be fully used and may be lost, reducing the overall benefit of the protein source. When we looked at the meals reported by the participants, we noticed most amino acids were consumed at the end of the day. This means that overall, there was an uneven intake of amino acids over the course of each day. However, when we looked more closely at the data, we found that there were three different groups of participants. One group stood out because they tended to meet the essential amino acid requirements. We wanted to understand how they did this, so we looked more closely at the foods that they reported eating. And we found that these participants consumed higher amounts of legumes, nuts, and seeds than the other two groups. To build on this finding, we used the Digestible Indispensable Amino Acids Score, or DIAAs, to score each vegan meal by protein quality. This score indicates the proportion of protein from a food source that is available for the body's use. Similar to earlier findings, we found that the meals that scored higher in protein quality were rich in legumes. Meals that scored lower were higher in grain foods. This makes sense because legumes are good sources of lysine and leucine, which are the most problematic amino acids in the diets of the New Zealand vegans which we studied. Grain foods are crucial as staples, and they provide other essential amino acids found at lower levels in legumes. So an approximate legume to grain ratio of 2:1 appears ideal for high protein quality. A good recommendation stemming from our analysis is to include many different legumes as the basis of most meals in the day, with whole grains, nuts, and fruits and vegetables completing the meal.